So this is the progress the following day after they've put the foundations in. They're doing very well. They've got the hang of it. Suntory tells me that it's unlikely they've ever built a wall like this before, so it should be good experience for them. These blue tubes are plastic pipe which I've decided to have put in the wall in each section for drainage. It's got a little sort of drain, what's normally an internal drain in the house, cover bent over it, just to stop small stones going down the pipe. And then the idea is that it'll be backfilled with soil to the level of the pipe, and then this is what's going to happen around each pipe. A little sort of how do you call it, little area with gravel in, and that will be built up a bit more again, probably bringing the gravel up to this sort of height, and then soil can go over the top of that, and hopefully that will minimise the amount of soil getting down. But if there's a huge amount of water building up along this wall, then it'll find its way out of these drain holes eventually before it builds up too much pressure and weight. So they're getting it right, just what I wanted. Steel inside the wall, which will be filled with CPAC, so that the pressure of the soil and water is resting against 30 centimetres of wall. And then after the next layer of bricks, or blocks rather, after the next layer I think it will go to single skin up to the top, because there's no actual, that's not load bearing, that's not weight bearing, that's just basically creating a boundary wall. Plenty of steel going into this wall. So you can see how they're tying the wall into the posts with a good length of steel, and then each of the walls are tied together with steel braces. And then obviously that will be encased in concrete, so none of these parts of the wall should be able to move independently of the whole wall, really. I've got extra steel here for corner bracing, I guess. They've laid these fittings today. That's the first job they did, and then the brickwork, or blockwork I should say, was the next part of the job today. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this. Yeah, I've just done a measure up. I think they're on their last course of blocks for the 1 metre double width retaining wall. Let's have a look at the take two. Let's have a look at the blocks that they're using here for building this wall. Blocks that they will also use to build houses. And I've done a video on how they make these, and they are very, very simple. And when I first came here, I thought these were extremely weak and pathetic things to build with, but I've since learnt my lesson not to make a judgment too quickly, because they're actually very well designed. They're bonded small pieces of I don't know what, stone, rock, not sure exactly, but there is a video about how they make them, and they're hollow most of the way through. As you can see, there's 3 sections. Each end has a V-shape notch to it, and the top also has a V-shaped notch, although on some of these it's not very deep. But the consequence of this is that when they're placed onto mortar, and they're always placed with these holes down at the bottom, the mortar goes into the holes automatically. It's squished in there, which holds the block in place at the bottom, and then at the top here you've got a bit of an indent which mortar can go into to hold the top, and then of course there's another block on top of that which is held underneath. The other thing about these notches here and down the sides, apart from holding mortar to keep the blocks stuck together, is that they're also useful for putting the steel into when they're using reinforcements. So as we pointed out earlier, there's this steel going into a hole into the post, and then it's going to be embedded into mortar, basically running along this V-shaped notch here. And the same with these. These are going to be held in place with a mortar in the V-shaped notch as well. So when this is dry, even before the concrete's poured in the middle, it will be a very strong wall.